Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first of all to express my gratitude and appreciation to everyone who is present today on the occasion of the 74th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. Nowadays, Indonesia is well known as the number 4 biggest country in the world and in the first biggest democratic country with major Muslim population. For several years, Indonesia also managed to maintain a steady and strong economic growth, a stable political security condition, and improving the welfare of its people. Furthermore, as part of the interconnected world, Indonesia highly values its cooperation and relation with other countries through bilateral, multilateral, regional fora. As stipulated in the Indonesia Constitution, we are strongly committed to promote freedom, world justice, and eternal peace. To that end, various cooperation was established with other partner countries. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the diplomatic relation between Indonesia and Sweden has been developed since 1950, which brought various positive mutual benefit development. With Indonesia and Sweden celebrating 70 years of diplomatic relations next year, our two countries are enjoying steady and growing relations, as well as sharing a common vision for a peaceful and prosperous world. We have strengthened our bilateral relations in all fields, from the scientific to the innovation and technological, from the academic to the entrepreneurial, from the politic to defense sector, and from tourism to culture. At the global level, Indonesia and Sweden have also made tangible contributions to international peace and security, including by contributing troops in the UN peacekeeping missions and becoming the UN non-permanent member of Security Council. Today, our countries still work together and will continue to work together as free and democratic nations, sharing our values of tolerance and pluralism. Also the wish of deepening dialogue and mutual knowledge, and we still have a lot to learn from each other. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to share with you that during the past few years, the economic cooperation between Sweden and Indonesia has shown significant improvement. The total trade value of the two countries has exceeded more than 10% increase annually for the past 5 years. In terms of investment, there were new projects of investment by Swedish companies in Indonesia. For instance, the development of IKEA latest store in West Java, and right now in Jakarta there are some discussion through the workshop to the promoting awareness on the issue of health infrastructure, smart mobility workshop, and transportation. The close relationship between the two countries also shown by the increased number of incoming and outgoing tourists from Sweden to Indonesia, and vice versa. In the field of education, more Indonesian students continuing their studies in Sweden for masters, doctorals, and even postdoctoral degrees. The visit of King Carl XVI Gustav and Queen Sylvia to Indonesia in May 2017, accompanied by a delegation consisting by ministers, government officials, businessmen, and academicians, had also greatly contributed to the enhancement of the cooperation between Sweden and Indonesia. I believe that the bilateral relation between our two countries will continue to strengthen from time to time. And finally, I also believe that we can work closely together in overcoming various regional and global challenges and play an important role in creating a more peaceful, secure, and prosperous world. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is a great honor for me and a great pleasure to represent the government of Sweden here tonight, celebrating the 74th anniversary of the Independence Day of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you, Ambassador Bagas Hapsoro, my dear friend. Thank you, Madam Sumaningsing Hapsoro, for inviting me and us all to this really fantastic evening. Ambassador, as you have already mentioned, Sweden and Indonesia have a very long history of friendship. Also from the Swedish side, we are very much looking forward to celebrating 70 years of diplomatic relations next year. I can share with you that our embassy in Jakarta is already busy preparing events to mark this important year, focusing among others on sustainability. And I know that the Indonesian embassy here in Stockholm is a very active one, so we very much look forward to celebrating and cooperating together. Sweden and Indonesia do have a lot in common. We are distant geographically, but we are indeed very close. So close that we could almost have exchanged our speakers, you and myself, Mr. Ambassador. From the Swedish point of view, we also regard the state visit in 2017 by His Majesty King Carl XVI Gustaf as a very important milestone and as a manifestation of our country's shared wish and commitment to strengthening political, economic and cultural cooperation. The accompanying delegation that traveled with the King was really impressive, including businesses, universities and authorities, and this showed Sweden's strong interest in deepening our ties with Indonesia. And I'm happy to say that many Swedish delegations have visited Indonesia since then over the past couple of years. Only this week in Jakarta, our embassy, together with Business Sweden and Most Valued Business, organized a seminar on Smart City for All, an area where we see plenty of opportunities for enhanced collaboration. In a couple of weeks' time, our State Secretary to the Minister for Infrastructure will visit to participate in an event on disaster risk reduction and management, and I could indeed go on. Ambassador, dear friends, you mentioned democracy, and many of you may have read the statement of foreign policy of the Swedish government of 2019, indicating democracy as one of the main priorities. Ambassador mentioned Indonesia as the biggest democracy among Muslim population countries, and Indonesia is in fact the third largest democracy in the world. This is impressive for a country like Sweden, and this is an area where we are very eager to cooperate and deepen our cooperation with Indonesia. On the global scene, we do have a lot in common. This is actually a time in the world where it is very important for those of you who stand up for multilateralism to cooperate, and Sweden and Indonesia share a lot of values and interests in this regard. We are particularly happy to see Indonesia entering in the UN Security Council in the non-permanent seat and actually taking over a number of the priorities that Sweden worked on during the previous period, not least women, peace and security. And on global issues, we are also glad to be able to cooperate on climate change. Ambassador, you also mentioned our happy trade figures. We are also rejoicing, and we are eager to continue to deepen our cooperation even further in this regard. So we do share a common interest for swift progress in the ongoing negotiations for a free trade agreement between the EU and Indonesia as one important platform. From an EU point of view, we are also very eager to strengthen our collaboration with your part of the world in the EU-ASEAN cooperation. Finally, personally, I very much look forward to visiting Indonesia very soon for bilateral political consultations. So, dear Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen, again, on behalf of the Swedish government, it is my deep honor to offer our congratulations on this important day, and we do look forward to continuing our path of friendship. Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Thank you.
It is in the name of promoting future cooperation between the two countries, but also collaboration in bilateral, regional, and global fora. I would like to raise your glass and give also to our mutual relationship. Thank you very much. Skål!